Hey everyone, and welcome back to another tier list. So today I'll be doing one that I've been waiting to do for quite a while because, to be honest, the Alien franchise is probably one of my, if not my most favorite film franchises out there. Certainly in the sci-fi action realm, it's definitely one of the better ones, the more consistent ones in that. And I thought I'd mix it up and put the Predator franchise in there too because they kind of cross over in the AVP films, and I've only just recently watched a few of the Predator films that I hadn't seen until now. So I watched Prey last night for the first time, and I had to watch like Predator 2 and The Predator as well for this list to get it up to date. And I also rewatched Alien 3, the assembly cut, a couple nights ago because I hadn't actually seen that cut of the film, I don't think, or not at least not for about 10 years. So just to kind of update myself and get it ready for this list. So it looks like we're going in order from release date. So it's mixing all the films up together from the very first Alien to the new Prey film. So kicking things off, we have the very first film, Alien from 1979 from Ridley Scott. So this is straight away an S tier film. It's like perfect. It's probably my favorite film on this whole list, to be honest. I know most people, when it comes to Alien, it's between the first film and Aliens, and it's honestly, it's so close for me. Like, Alien is only just maybe a fraction of a hair above Aliens for me. I just think like what it's able to do in capturing the terror and the horror out in space, whereas the second film is more of a straight up action film in the Alien universe. The first one just kind of created this really unique vibe and feeling and tension, and it had this fantastic art style that just like the film holds up so well today, even though it came out in 1979, which is quite a long time ago. So it's easily my favorite film in the franchise. And yeah, Ridley Scott, he's just great with the Alien franchise. Like even his two recent films, which we'll get to, I enjoy a lot. So that's Alien in the S tier. So Aliens came out next in 1986, and obviously that's an S tier film as well. I think most people will have these as the top two, but switching back and forth. A lot of people put Aliens as number one, but I still love the film, definitely. Obviously because it's in S, but behind Alien just a little bit. Um, I think the addition of like the characters of Newt and Hicks are great in the film, and the action, which was really kind of lacking, I guess, in the first film, is really there, and it's really up the ante with the characters and adding more aliens and more design and things like that to the film makes it feel a lot bigger. Whereas the first film is more like a just singular claustrophobic kind of event, and the second film really expands the universe of Alien in a really fantastic way. Which James Cameron, he's great at doing these kind of sequels, like he did with Terminator 2, which just kind of upped the ante from the first one. So yeah, they're both obviously S tier films. Next up, we have Predator. So the first film in the Predator franchise. So this is where the list is probably going to get divisive because I'm not as huge a fan of the Predator films as I am the Alien ones. I think they're good, but I don't really think any of them are great. Like the closest is obviously the first one, which most people would agree. But to be honest, I'm probably going to just put it in the B tier. I know a lot of you would put it up in S or A, but B, I think it's a high B. It's definitely a good film, and I recently went back and rewatched this film as well because I hadn't seen any of the Predator films in a long time, and it's easily the most entertaining one. Like it's just kind of balls to the wall crazy, and got these big macho men out in the jungle like hunting this predator, and it's pretty fun. It's a really fun movie, and I think it really kicks into gear in the second half of the film, especially when it mainly focuses on the predator, and it doesn't, the predator is more of an observer in the first half of the film, but the second half it really like yeah kind of opens up into a predator film, and just that last half hour, especially with like Arnie in the jungle at night, like just him and the predator facing off, that's like awesome, that stuff. So that's obviously the best film in that franchise. Then we have Predator 2, which I watched for the first time about a week ago, and it was all right, to be honest. Like I like that they went a different way, a different route with the film. I didn't think it was great though. To be honest, it's probably a D tier. There were things I liked about it. I liked the second half of the film better, kind of like with the first Predator film. When Danny Glover's character, this police officer, he's kind of like realized what's going on and he's facing off against the Predator in like this ice fridge and stuff. And the whole final like half hour sequence of the film is actually pretty good, but up till then it's pretty corny and cheesy, and a lot of it doesn't seem to work well. Even though you've got like Bill Paxton here as well, so he's all right in the film, but he doesn't feel as in character or as in place as he did in Aliens. So, but it was good to see him in this film, and also see them take the Predator setting somewhere new. So it's not in the jungle. We've got like I think it's in Los Angeles. So that was cool. But yeah, there was a lot that didn't work about the film for me, to be honest. So next up we have Alien 3. So this one was directed by David Fincher, and it was actually his first film. And if you'd have asked me a week ago, maybe I would have probably put it in D or even E tier. But honestly, after watching it a couple nights ago, and I watched the assembly cut, which is like the extended cut, it's half an hour longer than the theatrical. It really expands on it, and I really liked it actually quite a bit. A lot of people are probably going to hate me for doing this, but I'm going to put it in the B tier with the first Predator film because I honestly enjoyed Alien 3 quite a lot. It's definitely has nothing on the first two films, but for what it is, I think if you just watch it for what it is and don't expect it to be as mind blowing as the original two, and also watch the assembly cut, which adds in whole new subplots and things like that that are quite interesting to the film and help flesh it out a bit more. I think it gives the movie time to breathe and expand, and it's yeah, from what I remember of watching the theatrical cut, this is much better. So definitely check out the extended assembly cut of Alien 3, and it might change your mind too. So the film on this list I've been wanting to get back to but haven't gotten around to yet is Alien Resurrection. I've seen this one like 10 years ago and haven't seen it since. So as I said, yeah, I plan on rewatching it. So my placing of this film might change over the next week because I'm hoping to watch it again soon. But for now, to be honest, like it wasn't good from memory. I don't think it's quite an F film though. I'm going to put in E. Just the idea of resurrecting Ripley through cloning 200 years later and mixing her DNA with an alien. It's a bit far fetched and a bit silly, to be honest. Like I feel like the Alien trilogy is a nice, neat trilogy, and then Resurrection kind of just went a bit over the top and overboard and took itself a bit, not too seriously and stuff like that. And the aliens were all too, I don't know. I think you see them too much in this film. Like there's not really that mystery to them. So Alien Resurrection, well, I don't think it's an F tier. And as I said, after rewatching it soon, my opinion might change on the film. But for now, it's in E. So next up, we have the two Alien vs Predator films, and these are two that I also haven't seen for a long time. I've watched them once off a while ago, and honestly, I do remember enjoying the first one. I didn't love it, but it's probably D tier, I reckon. It might even be C tier. I'm not sure. But again, I want to rewatch the first AVP. I'm not really going to bother with the second one. Um, but to be honest, I think this could probably go in C tier. Uh, yeah, I might put it in C tier even because I think it's a bit more of a fun and entertaining film. I know it's silly, but for what it is, I think if you just take it as a fun and entertaining film with the alien and the predator, like you get a bit of enjoyment out of it. Like if you're not expecting some brilliant masterpiece, um, there is definitely fun to be had there. As far as Alien vs Predator Requiem, it's easily in my opinion, the worst film of the bunch. I remember seeing it and just thinking it doesn't fit with alien films or anything like that. Like it's in this small town, it's on Earth, and like I prefer when Alien takes place off-world and on other planets. Like even the first Alien vs Predator does it on Earth, but it just has a nice setting, like it's in these ancient pyramids and stuff. Whereas the second one is just rubbish, and it was poorly lit and bad characters, and yeah, it was a pretty terrible film. So there's nothing really redeemable to bring it above an F, unfortunately. Um, yeah. So next up we have Predators. So the third film in the Predator franchise. So this film kind of took it back to the first film, like put it in that similar setting of a jungle, and you've got all these like ex-cons and criminals and bad people that have just been dumped in this jungle, but then you find out that they're actually off-world, they're on some other planet, which I thought was cool. Um, Adrian Brody was good in the film. Um, most of the cast was okay. The film as a whole, though, it kind of was just kind of trying to repeat the first Predator film, but not as successfully. And to be honest, it's probably D tier with Predator 2, but probably slightly better. The action was pretty good. The Predator looked cool and stuff, and had those Predator dog creatures. I'm not sure what they're called, but they were kind of cool. Um, yeah, so I recently rewatched this one because I hadn't seen it for a long time again, and it was okay. Like I enjoyed it, but that's all it was. It was just okay. Um, so they hadn't really done much new with the Predator franchise up till this point still. Next up, we get Prometheus. So this is the first of Ridley Scott's prequel films to the original Alien, and I loved this movie. It's not quite an S tier, but it's easily an A tier film. People who were expecting an alien in the film were disappointed because there's no alien in this film until the very last frame, pretty much. But for what it is, it really opens up and expands the alien mythology and the universe, and I really loved the film for that. I loved seeing it in cinemas, and I rewatch it pretty often. And you've got Noomi Rapace and Michael Fassbender. Michael Fassbender as David is a great character, in addition to the alien universe as well. And yeah, so Prometheus is a film that I've always loved since first seeing it in cinemas, and yeah, just the fact that there is no alien really in the film, but it kind of isn't about that. Like it's just about this whole other aspect about the people, well, not people, but the creators of humans and of aliens and things like that, and it kind of just expands the world in this really cool way. And it's a great looking film too. Yeah, so definitely check that one out if you haven't seen it. So next up, we've got Alien Covenant, which is the next film Ridley Scott did, which is a follow up to Prometheus and a prequel to Alien, but still hasn't led up to Alien properly. I think they're still planning a third film, hopefully, to join the two. But Alien Covenant's another A for me. If you had a like after the first time I watched it in cinemas, I probably would have given it a B or even maybe a C. But I've rewatched it multiple times and I've really come to love this film as well. Equally to Prometheus, I think. Um, I think it kind of tries to please fans of the original film as well as Prometheus because it kind of combines the two. You've got the mythology and all the story behind it with Prometheus, but you've also got the alien action and blood and gore and violence from Alien and Aliens as well. And I think it does it pretty well. It is a bit jarring in some points, but like the film looks great. You've got great characters, a great cast, a fantastic soundtrack that's really eerie and creepy. You've got the addition of the Neomorph, which is a really cool alien. It's really aggressive and violent. I think like the violence in this movie probably tops all the other films. Like it's just full on and it's very surgical and very creepy and dark and really over the top. But I really like this movie a lot. I think that yeah, Alien Covenant has a lot to offer really for fans of Prometheus or the Alien franchise in general. I think it's a real return to like just that kind of original format that the first few films follow, and it does it really well. So next up we have The Predator from 2018. Most people seem to hate this film, and yeah, watching it I wasn't impressed. I think other than like visually it looked nice, like it had nice visual effects, it kind of came off as a comedy, which it shouldn't have because these films are supposed to be serious, and I get that some franchises, once they get to a certain point, they kind of become parodies of themselves. But these franchises don't have to become that, which we'll see with the next film. But the Predator, I wouldn't put it in F tier. Probably put it in E tier with Alien Resurrection because it wasn't quite as good as Predators and Predator 2. But yeah, I mean, there were some cool action scenes in it. There was this giant predator creature that came back to take out the normal predator. I don't know what they call it though, I can't remember, but it was pretty cool watching them fight and stuff. So other than a few cool fight scenes, the characters were just comic relief and like one note characters. Like there were some funny jokes and some funny moments, but it just felt out of place in this world um, to be like that. So yeah, I wasn't really a fan. Even though my brother who's a visual effects artist, worked on this film as well as Alien Covenant, which is pretty cool. Yeah, but unfortunately, the Predator just kind of failed to do anything for me. It wasn't, as I said, complete trash like AVP2, but it was pretty bad. And so now coming down to Prey, so this is the last film and the most recent film we have in the Predator or Alien franchise. And this kind of takes things back to basics. It takes the Predator franchise back to like a, we're not just kind of covering the same ground here because this goes back to like the 1700s. And we follow like a Native American and her tribe as they're kind of dealing with this first predator that comes up on the scene, and they're using all their kind of weaponry and tools. And the predator itself also kind of lacks some of the technology that it has in the more modern eras that it's in. So it was refreshing to see it take a different turn for the better. And I enjoyed the film. I didn't love it, but to be honest, I think it's a B tier movie. I don't think it's quite as good as Predator and Alien 3, so it's probably the bottom of the B tier. But it was a step in the right direction for the Predator franchise, especially after the 2018 film. Yeah, so I did enjoy it. The action was pretty bloody and gory, but yeah, definitely what it should have been. And so that's it, guys, for the Alien and Predator films so far. I do know that they are currently filming a new Alien film, which is kind of its own film set outside of the main story that's happened with the first four films as well as the prequel films. It's not attached to them, so that should be pretty cool to see. And I'm not sure if Ridley Scott what's happening with his third Alien prequel film, but I really hope that that gets off the ground as well because I'd love to see that. And I'm not sure what's happening with the Predator films from here on either. But as far as the ones that are released, yeah, I love the first two Alien films, Prometheus and Alien Covenant as well. And these B films are all really good also. And AVP is pretty entertaining. But as far as these bottom ones, they're pretty average. Um, but yeah, that Alien's definitely my favorite and most consistent franchise, I think, as far as science fiction and action films go. So please like and subscribe, guys. And if you have a list order that you'd like to let me know about, chuck it down in the comments and let me know which order these are in for you. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.